Hi guys, welcome back. So in this session, we will begin off by looking at the ICANN November 2014 case study question. So we're going to solve these questions, you and I, together. I remember in the previous session, I had told you or I'd given you the exam approach that you are meant to, adopt in solving the case study questions. And it is this exam approach that we're going to apply in solving this particular question that we have on the board. Okay? So the first thing I told you, if you can go back to the exam approach that I told you in the previous session, number one is to read the requirement first, noting your role and the role of the recipient. Okay? So looking at what we have on the board, Pago Investments Limited, that is the name of the client. Requirement is the information that we have on page 1. So you are Maja Okpara, that is who you are in this case study. And you are a recently qualified chartered accountant. And you have been elevated or promoted to the post of a qualified audit senior with a firm of Dago & Co. Chartered Accountant. Okay, so that is your role. Your role is a qualified audit senior. And the name of your company, of course, is Dago & Co. Chartered Accountants. Okay, one of the firm's client service partners, Anike Duty FCA, has sent you an email, Exhibit 1, requesting you to prepare a report to be submitted to Ade Mambuza, the Chief Investment Officer of Pago Investments Limited. And then this client requires business advisory services in respect of potential investment in another company called Mago Pharmaceuticals, a publicly listed entity operating in Malaysia. Okay, so now we have the recipient of the report. And who is the recipient of the report? We're going to address this report to Ade Mambuza, who is the Chief Investment Officer of Pago Investments Limited. Pago Investment Limited is a client to your company, Dago & Co. Chartered Accountant. So that is the first thing that you are supposed to do. So you have identified your role, and then of course you have also identified the role of the recipient. Another thing you are supposed to do under this session is to go to the requirement. Go to the requirement where the examiner has asked you what you are meant to do. Okay? So let us go to the requirement. This is page 1. Okay? This is page 2. Now, in page 2, you can see required. I have not started reading the case study. I just want to understand what the examiner wants me to do. Using the attached information, prepare a draft report to Ade Mambuza. The report should include a financial analysis. Okay, that's interesting. We've talked about financial analysis before. And business valuation of Mago Pharmaceuticals. Okay, we've talked about the business valuation techniques before. Given advice on the product lines to discontinue using the information provided in Exhibits 2 to 7, together with a critical evaluation of the valuation models and analysis of the product lines as proposed by Ade Mambuza. We know who Ade Mambuza is. The report should also discuss the appropriateness or otherwise, as well as any shortcomings of the valuation models and analysis method used. So that is 1. That is requirement 1. Requirement 2. A strategic analysis of the current external environment of Mago Pharmaceuticals, okay, using an appropriate business model, taking into consideration the scenario in Exhibit 2. The business model used should include a clear commentary, together with your judgments, limitations of the model used, and overall conclusions. Okay, now, at least I have an idea of what the examiner wants me to do. Examiner wants me to, carry out a financial analysis, business valuation. So yeah, I begin to think of the financial statement tools that we learned, the financial ratios trend analysis that we learned in previous sessions. And of course, I also begin to think of the business valuation tools. Although I still need to read the case study to properly understand the data that I would need to produce these two analyses. And of course, there's something also that is there, something interesting. Okay, that's talking about short-term decision making, because the examiner has asked me to give an advice on the product lines to discontinue. So I will need to do an analysis on that as well. Examiner has asked for commentaries, evaluations of all these modules analysis. In requirement 2, examiner has asked for a strategic analysis of the current external environment of Mago Pharmaceuticals. So yeah, I'm thinking of the suitable, analytical tool that you can use to analyze the external environment in which a business operates. We talked about that one before. It could be the SWOT analysis. It could be the Presto. Of course, we talk about which one you're meant to use in this particular scenario. But at least I have an idea what the examiner is asking me to do. So the first thing again is to read the requirements, and that is what we have actually done in this particular, session. Now, the next thing that we're supposed to do, okay, is to then read the entire case study. So read the entire case study, okay, and we're going to do that in the next session. When we begin to read the case study, we then begin to underline or highlight the important components and parameters that we need to use, particularly the information in the exhibit. And we then will begin to look at those components and how we can actually apply them in terms of carrying out analysis. And then, of course, remember, I also told you that when you are reading the exhibit, identify the key components in the exhibit and then put them on a separate sheet. That is what we're going to do in the coming session. I hope you had a wonderful time listening to me. Thank you. Bye.